Hello everyone, welcome to the American Jedi channel. We're back at it with the technology portion of this video. I wanted to show you all the tech features in this car and also kind of go over the quirks that this car does have issues, including things that I've experienced myself, things that I've heard of in the Polestar forums, and also resources for owners. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, first thing I want to talk about are my wish for a dash cam. Now, apparently, they do make a aftermarket piece that goes in here and will give you a dash cam. I don't know exactly how it works because there already is a sensor up here. Yeah, not really sure how that works, but it's only 2K, and I don't think that's good enough to read license plates. You need at least 4K, I believe, to read license plates. And plus, you have to take this whole housing apart. I don't think that's really an option for me. I am not very tech savvy, and I'll just end up breaking the car. And honestly, I don't trust anyone else to do it either. So maybe they can come up with an update for the front camera, front-facing camera, because this does have the 360 camera, and they can do it like Tesla did and have a front-facing camera or something to, in case you're ever in an accident and someone hit and runs you or whatever, it'll be good to go. The speakerphone works awesome. The mics and everything that are in here works great. There's a highway that runs here that I drive on often, and it's 55, and usually I do about 60-65, and people can hear me with my windows down just fine. I can hear them if I turn the volume up. They don't hear the wind noise, so it works out pretty good. The window or the mirrors fold. These mirrors fold, so like if you're going through a car wash, you want to hit this L and R button, left and right mirror buttons, and it'll cause them to fold in. So like if you're going through a car wash, you want to go ahead and do that. That way they don't get damaged, and then you can fold them back out. It also folds in and out when you lock the car. You could also turn that option off as well. I wanted to go ahead and show you the 360 camera. You just touch this little camera button here. And there's a little 360 button here. If you touch there, and this is where you can turn off your parking sensors and rear auto brake. The rear auto brake is very freaking sensitive, so that might be something you want to do. But as you can see, 360 camera, and what's nice is you can touch each individual camera. Like if you want to get closer to this curb, like if I want to get up on this curb here, get closer and closer and closer and closer and closer. See? Pretty easy, right? If you want to see how close you are to the curb, that's also a nice option there. And I don't know, what's the settings button do? I never messed with that. Wheel guidelines, volume, park assist. Okay, didn't know that existed. So that's the 360 camera. What's nice is when you go in reverse too, is that your mirrors will go down like that. That's also another option that you can set up in the vehicle. If you go to vehicle settings, more, and then go to mirrors, you can set it up to tilt it reverse, whether it's off, both the driver and passenger, just the driver's side. You can also adjust your auto dimming, which is kind of nice, to light, dark, and standard. And you can also turn off and on to fold the mirrors when locked. I think it's just a cool look, to have them fold when you lock the car. Some people might not like that. I don't know what the advantage of not doing it is, but hey, whatever, it's your world, right? All right, so I wanted to show you this map navigation. Let's see here. I want to make sure. Yep. Okay. So I got Cincinnati, Ohio pulled up. I'm going to go ahead and click that. See how fast it calculates. It's actually pretty snappy. See, it's going to tell me it's a 13-hour and 5-minute trip if you don't stop, right? 912 miles. Tells you right here, multiple chargers needed. So all you got to do is hit this charging stop button, and it'll tell you. Looks like I'm gonna have to make about 7 stops because the 8th stop is Cincinnati, and it'll show you exactly where you're going to stop along the way. A lot of these I've noticed are Electrify America charging stations at like Walmart. There's a few EVGOs. EVGOs are kind of expensive. Let's see what else is here. Yeah, Electrify America, Electrify America, Electrify America. A lot of them are at Walmarts. which I think is pretty cool because there's Walmarts everywhere. But if I click on this first one, for example, you can see if I left now, I have a 210-mile range. I'm sitting at right at 84% battery. I could get there by 9 o'clock, so about 2 hours. And I'll be stopping there with 23% battery. And then it says I'll take 36 minutes to charge to get to the next stop. And then when I get to the next stop, I'll have 10% battery and I'll be charging for 44 minutes. So if I click on this, I can kind of get some information on that stop. So it'll tell me Gainesville, Florida, 2.7 stars, kind of concerning. Hopefully the charger works. A good tip is when you're going on a long road trip with an electric vehicle, use like PlugShare app is one that I mainly use to get some backup charging stations in the area. Say if I'm going to Gainesville, I might look at the area around Gainesville, maybe like the town before, the town after, and see if there's any chargers in the area that I could detour to in case a charger is broken or a charging station is broken. So it says it's open 24 hours. It's within Target. It shows you the amenities that are nearby. And if you click on this, grocery store, it'll show you like all the stuff that's around, restaurants, coffee shops. If I click back, oh, too far. And it'll tell you, okay, so the company's Electrify America, and then they have 4 350 kilowatt chargers and 350 kilowatt chargers. So my car charges max at 150. I could still plug into this one, but the car is only going to accept 150 kilowatts max, and that's only from like 0 to 60%, and then it tapers down. It's a charging curve. Teslas can take advantage of this one because I think they can do 300 kilowatts. So that's pretty nice that it, falls in line with, on par with Tesla, where it'll plan, the charging stations, and it seems to favor the fast chargers over the level 2 chargers. So it seems to favor the level 3 chargers. That way you're not sitting there for hours on a level 2 charger. So that's pretty nice. Another feature that I like in the car, technology-wise, is this center screen. So while I'm on here, if I was to hit let's go, plans my route, and you can see right here, kind of, says, okay, let's go, plans my route, and then I have the same information here. So, you got it on 2 screens, but it's nice because you can see like, okay, where's my next turn, right? And you have all the information right here. The only thing I wish that it had was the song information. Like in my Volvo, when I skipped to the next song, it would tell me right here. It would say what song it was so that I could skip ahead again if I wouldn't have to wait to hear the song to see if I wanted to hear that or not. I listen to a lot of Apple Music. I've got my own playlists and stuff like that, so I tend to skip a lot because I've been listening to the same playlist for years, slowly adding songs to it as I discover new music. But anyways, yeah, that's that. And what else? You've got your speed limit thing here, and that actually is pretty accurate. There's only a few times where I was using it and it didn't work, or it was wrong. So the weird thing though is if I'm using Apple CarPlay and I have Google Maps up, usually when you have Google Maps and you're navigating, it'll have a little speed limit sign here. That is really accurate, the Google Maps speed line. But this is Google Maps, so I don't think that the car has integrated Google Maps with that speed limits recognizer sign. I think it actually reads the signs that it passes, but I'm not 100% sure how it works. So yeah, that's pretty nice. You can change the view by pushing this button here, and if you push that button, it'll get rid of the map in the center and give you a bigger speed limit sign, directions here, and then your range, and then your battery percentage here. And it would be nice though if it had like an instant kilowatt usage. So if you look in here, there's a range assistant app, and it'll tell you how much you're consuming. So I put it in park, but I guess right now I'm consuming 3 kilowatts. I don't know, by just sitting here, I don't know. And then it'll it'll tell you, like currently, like when I'm on the highway, sometimes this will say, you know, if I'm going 75, sometimes if I'm going uphill at 75, it'll say high consumption, under speed. Usually that's low because I usually have the AC on very low. Driving style, I've never seen that change. And it gives you a projected range, 170 miles, which is different from the range that it's telling me here. So I think the range assistant calculates based on my previous driving history. So I think at 210 miles range, if I were to drive 70, 75, I think that's the real range that I would get, would be 170. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't really driven this car. Since I first got it, I've been in the turtle mode once. I got below 10% and turtle mode came on. It didn't affect my highway speeds or anything. It eventually does if you get too low, but I was under 10% and I was still going 75, and I found a fast charger and stopped and charged up. But that was the only time I've been under that low. So since I've had a home charger, I've never been under 20%. And but this range assistant's really handy. You can turn on eco climate, which will favor your efficiency over your comfort, apparently. So yeah, that's nice. Another cool thing, it's just a little quirk that this car has, but is this rear fog light. If you push that, you can kind of see that light, that orange light come on up there. So that's handy, especially in areas where climates where you have a lot of fog. Florida gets some fog sometimes. In the Tampa Bay area, we'll get quite a bit of fog, and Florida drivers are pretty nuts. So I turn that on to make sure that no one rear ends me. I'll probably still get rear ended though. But yeah, that's a pretty nice little feature. On the ceiling underneath the dome lights, you have an SOS function in case you ever need emergency services. And I know you can't read that, but it says connect. That's for roadside assistance, and that's nice because if you break down or if you run out of battery or whatever, you're covered under Polestar to come out and take care of you. So that's included in the cost of the car. Apple and Android Auto, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, both work in this car. It is not wireless though, unfortunately, and which is weird because my wife's Hyundai Tucson has wireless Apple CarPlay, and it's a lot cheaper than this car. And yet with this one, I still have to plug in a cable. And the pain about this is, first world problems, is that the cable for the USB-Cs are right here, right? And it's kind of in the way. Like if you plug in your phone and stuff, it's kind of in the way. This is the QI charger. So you know what I've been doing is I don't even use Apple CarPlay anymore. I just set my phone down in here. I Google Map through here, everything, and it's just fine. My phone charges just fine, and it's a little slower than if you were to plug in the cable. But yeah, I don't even need to really use Apple CarPlay anymore. I can't respond to texts though that way through the Google app. I can't, you know, I can answer phone calls and stuff like that, but I can't have the car read me texts or respond to texts. That's an Apple CarPlay feature. So unfortunately it doesn't work through the car system if you're not connected. The App Store is pretty cool. If you go down here, the Google Play Store, there's tons of apps that you can download for the car. A lot of it is radio, and I don't know what this is, navigation. It has some crappy ratings, but you know, you can kind of scroll through here and you know, you got YouTube Music. There's just a lot of audio stuff. My favorite app on this car is Tubi. And this is a great app. It's completely free. You just create an account, or I think I logged in with my Google account, and you can actually go through here. Oh, look, I can watch the news live. That's pretty cool. But let's see here. If I go down here to my stuff, you can actually look at things and add them to your stuff, just like on Netflix. And you can see I have some stuff added here, and there's some good stuff on here. Full Metal Jacket, American Hustle, got The Matrix, Rocky. You know, there's some good movies on here that are completely free to you. So while you're charging, rather than take a nap, if you'd want to watch a movie or even a TV show, I was watching The Jeffersons, that works out for you, you know. the vehicle modes, if you go under vehicle, there's a lot of different things you can do under the vehicle tab. Wow, cool guy. Oh my God, he's so cool. So anyways, you can change your steering feel. I wasn't firm when I first got the car, but I found that to be a little too firm, so I went to standard because lights kind of, I don't know, it's a sport car and I want to kind of have a little firmness in my steering. You could turn sport mode on here, and down here you got one pedal driving. You can turn it off, lower, standard. I have it on standard because I like to not use my brakes, because when you're not using your brakes, you don't create brake dust, and plus you don't have to replace them as often. And I have creep turned off because I don't want to have to sit there and hold the brake. If you go to assist, you have all these driver assistance services that you can turn off or on. Driver support, adaptive cruise, cruise control, lane keeping assist. This is pretty cool. If the car in front of you pulls away, it'll ask you if you're ready to drive. It'll beep at you and be like, hey dumbass, are you ready to drive now? Charging, you can set your amperage in here. If you're charging on a 110, I'd suggest you set it to 11 amps. The only thing that stinks is wherever you set it, it'll remember that setting. So there was a time when I didn't have a home charger and I was plugged into 110 overnight, and I got up and left, and then I plugged into a fast charger and it was still set to 11 amps. So I had to go on my app and increase the amperage to 48 amps, and it started charging, faster. So, and then under more, you have different things like your car status, all is good, no warnings. You can store your pressure when you put more air in them. I kind of wish that it told you what the tire pressure was. I had a Lexus, and in the Lexus, it would tell, I could put it as an option in my screen, and it's the same way in my wife's Hyundai Tucson, where you can put it up in the middle and you can see your constant tire pressure. And I kind of like that because I want to see if one of the tires is low or something like that, and I need to put more air in it, or I'd like to see if I'm a couple pounds under, because that really does affect your mileage and everything else. If you in here, it'll tell you under the service tab, says that I recommend the next service 131 days or after 9,833 miles. Roadside assistance down here. So that's the car status. Locking, I mean, you can change everything in here. I like the audible locking feedback because I like to know when I lock the car, and you get the visual, unlock. I mean, there's all kinds of different options in there. Exterior lights. I mean, there's just tons of things you can do with this. You can see all the options in there. I'm not going to read everything off to you. Interior lights, I've got them all set to high. Mirrors, this is where you can do the folding and stuff. We already looked at that. And wipers, you can put it in service mode. Rain sensor memory, I have it on. So, and that's everything under the vehicle tab. So the garage door opener actually has space for 3 garage doors. So you got 1, 2, 3. And it's really easy to program. It's a home link system. You just hold your garage door opener down, hold the button down right next to it, and then hold this button down until it turns green. And it'll start flashing green really heavily. And then just be outside your garage door and then push the button. You don't have to hold it in, just push the button like that. And it'll communicate with your garage door, and you'll be able to see if it works right away. So if you're sitting outside your garage, is the best way to do it. Maps, and let's see, configurable screen. Yep, we looked at that. Auto cruise and co-pilot. So when you're on the highway, you'll see here, this is the auto cruise. If I zoom in on that, this is the auto cruise right here. And then that's the co-pilot. So when you're to go on auto cruise while you're driving on the highway, once you're at the speed you want, you just hit the center button. It's really simple. There's nothing to turn on, like a lot of cars will have, cruise control, let me turn it on and then set it. This one, you just push the button, it automatically sets it. Keeps distance. It also will stop. If traffic stops, it also will stop on its own, will slow down and stop on its own. And I've noticed that it's pretty good. It's actually pretty good, because like on my Lexus was a little slow. If a car got out of the way to speed back up, It was a little more conservative on the braking if a car got in front of me. This car actually keeps your distance pretty good, and you can adjust the distance using these buttons here. You want to increase your distance or decrease your distance in front of, to the car in front of you. One little quirk that I noticed is this little thing here. The basically what normally would be your mileage that has turned into an hour. So that's how many hours I've spent in the car. Though I don't know why I'd want to know hours. What would be even more helpful is knowing my average kilowatt per hour usage per 100 miles, I would think, rather than knowing how many hours I've spent in the car. Not really sure what I'm supposed to do with that information, but apparently they wanted that information to be in there. Let's see, what else do we have here? Well, it does have the Google Android operating system, so I can say, okay, Google, tell me a joke.
What do you call a belt made of watches? A waste of time.
Oh boy. Yeah, so you can have it tell you jokes. I can say, okay, Google, take me to McDonald's.
Sure, McDonald's 2.7 miles away.
So it comes up automatically and it's like, okay, let's go to McDonald's. Okay. Good stuff. Easy enough, easy enough. What else do we got here? Oh, it makes a weird blinker noise. I thought that was kind of a little quirk, but listen to this. I don't know how well you can hear it. I'm going to try and get closer to the dash so you can hear it, but it's a little different, isn't it? It's got a lot of bass to it. When I first heard that, I kind of did a double take. I was like, what is that all about? So I kind of like it now because it is different. It's a little different, you know, and I like things that are a little different. Let's look at, so the key situation. I have 3 keys, and one of them is a sport key, which is actually a waterproof, dustproof key that you can take with you on runs. And the cool thing is that you can have both keys on you, or you could leave the sport key in your car and you can still take your other key and lock it. Okay, so like this is my key, and I upgraded the casing to this white, nice, more premium casing. It's heavier and just feels like my old Volvo key. So I upgraded that. It was $50, but you know, it was worth it, I think. But anyways, you have this, say you have this key on you and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna go kayaking today. So you leave this key in your car, you bring your sport key with you, put it in your pocket or your waterproof pouch, or it doesn't have to be waterproof. Say you got it, you know, just in your pocket and you're going kayaking, or your fanny pack or whatever, and it gets wet, whatever, it's still gonna work. You come back to your car, you unlock the door with your key. You can also do it with your phone, but you can leave all that in the car, even if your phone is the key, and you can still lock the car. And you know, it's not going to recognize the key on the inside and not lock the car. So as long as you have a key on you, you can still lock the car from the outside. I thought that was a nice, cool feature. I'm trying to think of what else technology wise. Climate control. You do have various options in here for climate control. It does have the clean zone feature, which is just I guess a heavier filter to give you cleaner air, and you can also turn the defroster on and off using these buttons. They are not conductive. You actually have to push them down a little bit, and you can change your zones here, or you can just leave it on auto and it'll blow around, do whatever. That's about it. I don't know what's under parking. Start preheating, cooling timers. You can add timers to have the car, you know, set the climate control at certain times of day, say before you leave or whatever. If you don't have a garage and you want the climate control to come on, you know, it's snowing outside, you want it to come on at 6:30 in the morning because you got to leave at 7. You can set it automatically in here. Settings. You can have your seat heat to come on. your steering wheel heat to come on, your rear defroster to come on. So there's a lot of different options that you have in this car, and it all works. I had to log in using my Google account. So if I click here, it doesn't show me. But anyways, I had to log in using my Google account. Wait, what was that? Oh, nope. So anyways, it works off of your Google account. And so if I'm on my Google Maps on my phone, it'll show me my search history. When I tap on that button, it'll show me, like, you know, here's your recent searches. Do you want to go home? You know, if you've got your friends' information saved in your contacts, you can just start typing their name and it'll recognize that, and you can go to their house or whatever. So you log into your Google account on the car. There's also a Polestar account that you log into your car, and then the app actually helps you control the climate control, see your battery charging status. You can also set the amperage, just like in here. You can set the amperage, you can see your charging status. It'll give you an estimated time of when charging is going to be done. And I've actually found that estimated time to be completely garbage. Sometimes it finishes way sooner, sometimes it finishes later. So don't count on that estimated time that it gives you in the app. It might say like, oh, estimated time to completion is 2:54 p.m. and you might get done at like 1:30 or 3:30. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's not very accurate. Hopefully they can fix that with an update. But anyways, it is what it is. I hate that term. I don't know why I just said that. I hate it is what it is. I hate that term. But anyways, yeah, that's the app. It's pretty basic. It is reliable, has been reliable for me. I've seen a lot of people hating on it on the App Store and you know, on Apple in the App Store. I've seen a lot of people hating on the Polestar app. I think the most recent review I saw on there was like a year ago though, so I think they've improved it, because the reliability on my app's been pretty good. Sometimes I've had to click retry, and usually that makes everything pop back up. It'll show you whether your doors are locked, whether the climate's on, whether it's charging, stuff like that. It's pretty basic, but it kind of gives you everything that you need. I wish that it had the ability to set like what temperature you wanted. I guess you can kind of set it up in here to have the heat seat come on and stuff like that, but I wish you could set the temperature, turn the heated seats on, turn the heated steering wheel on. It would really be nice to have additional features in the app, and maybe they'll add that, maybe they won't. But there's other cars out there, other electric vehicles out there with a way better app. But yeah, so I can't think of anything else. Let's see. I want to talk about some issues that I've had. They're very few. The most concerning one I'll start with first is the rear auto braking. So when you're backing up, if it senses cross traffic or senses that you're going to hit something, it brakes. And when I say brakes, I mean, I was backing into my garage today, and I don't know if I was going faster than normal or what was going on, but there's a little step before my garage floor, because the garage floor isn't even with the ground outside. It's been like that. It's fairly new house, and it's just this little step. And I don't know if I was going too fast or what happened, but the car thought I was going to hit something, and it literally threw me into